Hey guys, welcome back to Words Are Tough, episode number 15. And we're getting a little feeling of deja vu.
Big.
Yeah, big
Very
feeling. It seems like every time we do an episode where we cover MMA,
there's a crazy injury.
Yeah.
I don't want to say specifically why the specific injury, because there's a weird thing in the algorithm where if we're super specific on an injury, I guess if you go too detailed, I guess it gets
YouTube
flagged or something.
Yeah, our last reaction video to the MMA event, YouTube kind of like baby flagged us. Like it didn't really fully flag us, but
it was a little baby flag.
It was a little baby flag. A little notification said you were describing an injury in too much detail and enjoying it or something.
Really
like
bizarre.
That.
It's like, what? I guess we were laughing, mentioning an injury, so that's not good. So we'll just say Conor McNugget McGregor versus Dustin Poirier. I like playing with the names, but like I call Michael Chandler Michael Chandelier.
Okay. You know who's good at that? Who's got some good ones? Colby Covington.
Oh yeah, he has he has a lot of nicknames. Or like Charles Oliveira's Charles Olive Oil, kind of thing. But anyway, Conor McGregor against Dustin Poirier. It was I was wrong. I sincerely thought McGregor was gonna win, and didn't win.
Yeah, I have
didn't win at all.
I have some thoughts about it now that I've sat and thought about it and watched it a few times.
Yeah,
and
from the time this recording is like what, 2 weeks?
Yeah, it's about 2 weeks.
It seems like a while ago, but yeah.
Yeah, and I've taken in all the ideas, other reactions I've seen and things like that. Yeah. What I personally think happened was his leg was like, after throwing those leg kicks,
compromised.
It was compromised at some point.
Yeah,
he didn't know it was broken. I think because obviously the adrenaline and things like that. But I think that's the reason why he went for the guillotine. Because I think he wanted to get off his foot, make it into the next round, but he did it too early. He just went too early. So he went on. Because why else would he try to submit a black belt?
It's like, what's bizarre? Like it just sounds almost like a character when you break it down. Like he was saying, he doesn't count. Conor McGregor said that he didn't count. Submission losses weren't really losses. Decision losses are not losses. Only like KOs. So his record only has one. Officially has one loss. Then he tries to go for a submission, and then says Poirier's gonna be taken out on a stretcher, and that's what happens to him. So it's kind of odd or kind of uncanny or irony, whatever you want to call it, that everything he predicted he'll do happened to him.
Yeah, it was like a trifecta. It was like whoever shoots first is a Dusty B.
Yeah,
and then
he shot
submissions
first.
Don't count, and then you're gonna get taken out of a stretcher.
Yeah,
everything happened to him though.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. But I mean, the one thing I would definitely advise to any person that gets hurt is get off your phone. Because the last thing you want is to have a really bad injury, be on morphine, and then have a phone in front of you, and then you just start tweeting and putting out some really weird thing, and then deleting them. And so I mean, I'm like maybe 3 years older than Conor McGregor, but if he was my friend, and if Conor McGregor ever wanted to be my friend, I'll be your friend. But if I was his friend, I'd be like, hey, get off your phone.
Especially with that new Lamborghini.
Lamborghini?
Boat. Did you see? No, did you see? He got like a commissioned, limited edition Lamborghini yacht.
Good for
him.
It
looks like a Lamborghini, but like a yacht. It's pretty sick. It was like 3.5 mil or something.
Sick like cool or sick like disgusting?
No, like cool. Yeah, it is cool. I mean, I'm not a big luxury things kind of guy like that.
Yeah.
But definitely. I've seen some yachts. That one looked really cool.
I get motion sickness, so my equilibrium is just off. Yeah. But so when I see yachts, I just think vomiting. I just think being sick. So when I see them, I'm like, oh, that's cool. I would never want a yacht if I could afford it, but I don't know. All right. This episode is sponsored by Nbox, a modern mailing center designed to meet the security needs of our time, whether it's shipping for our favorite products or paying monthly bills. Statistics show a transition to online convenience. It's quick and simple, which is why we love it. Unfortunately, it's created a new kind of criminal that seeks to steal your identity or take packages right from your porch. To sweeten the deal, you no longer have to worry about ordering expensive items online, only to have them sit in front of your residence unattended. Simply shop online as you normally would and ship everything directed to their secure facility. You'll receive an instant arrival notification so you can stop by for pickup or arrange a custom delivery at a time when you're home to receive it. As a listener, you can enjoy $5 off the lifetime of your subscription to an N-Box package plan when you enter tough words without spaces at checkout. Visit www.nboxdelivers.com to learn more.
Wow, that is awesome. And I have our second sponsor here, Premier Rank Marketing. Special shout out. If you have a business, you have any type of product that you're selling, you have some work that needs to be done on Google, on YouTube rankings, reach out to Premier Rank Marketing. I'm going to shoot their website right below there. And, it's just anything you need from like growing your social media presence or basically getting your name out there, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, Google Maps. If you have a brick and mortar business, they can help you out and they'll take care of you. And our last two sponsors we have here, Worldwide Multi-Service. They do taxes, travel, and insurance. And Rick's Barbershop here in Garfield, New Jersey, good old G Field. If you need to look good for your headshots, for a date, if you've been swiping right a lot and you have something coming up, definitely hit up Rick's Barbershop. He'll take care of you, and tell him that WordsrTough sent you, and he'll definitely hook you up. And thanks so much for the little break, and back to the show.
Awesome.
Yeah, now when I think of yachts, I just think of Wolf of Wall Street.
There's that, but nothing good happens in a yacht. I always think of those like spy movies where it opens up with a yacht and someone always ends up getting killed. Yeah. Falling over, I'm terrified of that.
Yeah, my most recent favorite yacht action movie scene, Tenet.
Yes.
Yeah, that was good.
That movie just went right under the radar.
It did.
And I don't know, it was a great movie. The soundtrack is pretty amazing.
Yeah,
who does the song? The Plane. He dated Kylie Jenner. Dang it. His name, he has a fake white name.
A fake white name?
Yeah, Travis Scott. There you go.
Oh, okay.
Travis Scott. Fake white name. His name isn't Travis Scott. I think he named himself that because his two favorite celebrities or something, or first name was Travis, last name was no. The Scott part comes from Kid Cudi because Kid Cudi's last name is first name is Scott, and the Travis, I forget where he gets the Travis from, but yeah, Travis Scott. Great, good musician from what I know.
Yeah, he, a lot of people gravitate towards his style. I've heard some songs I really like by him. I'm not a huge fan. My nephew, shout out to my nephew. He was a big Travis Scott fan. I don't know about anymore. Kids these days,
People are fickle. Kids are really fickle these days. They'll like one singer, rapper, or celebrity, and then within a month, even less than that, they're like, "Oh, the guy's trash."
Yeah. I just wanted to put the disclaimer because I don't want to put out there he's still a Travis Scott fan.
Okay.
If he's not. But he also had those that designer tricks cereal that he came out with.
Well. Yeah, this is an interesting segue, but yeah, Travis Scott is a pretty smart guy. He is really good at sort of plugging himself into things that are sort of loosely or pretty obviously connected to rap in some way, gaming is loosely, there's music, games, with McDonald's, he got a burger McDonald's at one point, basketball, rap,
And his merchandise, I remember like seeing shirts, and it was like, that looks like a really old Tupac shirt. Like he released like 90s style
fake,
rap merch.
Yeah, these fake 90s.
Like, you know how like they'd sell on the side of the highway like for $5? Like that's what he released his merch looking like.
Yeah,
it's just weird things that work.
But that guy, I mean, and you know, I only know one of his songs, which is from Tenet, and I think he's like the main song in that particular movie, but it's pretty good. It's actually a very good movie. I suggest everyone to watch the movie Tenet. And what I like most about it is that the lead actor, I mean, obviously if you're in a movie like that, you're pretty legit, but pretty, for the most part, kind of unknown. At least in the mainstream. Like if you say Tom Cruise, everyone knows who Tom Cruise is. If you say, I don't know, Will Smith, everyone knows who Will Smith is. But the guy that played in Tenet, I think that was maybe his first big role in a really big movie. I don't really know. I honestly forgot his name.
I like that a lot because, especially with movies like that where you really have to not even suspend disbelief, just like, you know, you're just in somewhere you've never been, you know, because it's just such a well-written movie and something new. Yeah. When I don't know who the actor is, it makes it easier for me to like really get into that
the actual
zone,
story.
You know?
Like so for me, the one actress that no matter what she plays, I'm just like, nope, that's just you playing a movie, is Halle Berry.
Oh, okay.
Halle Berry is every Halle Berry movie I've seen is like, that's just Halle Berry being in a movie. And I've even in Monsters Ball, I was still like, that's just Halle Berry being like a dysfunctional person. Like I
thought you were gonna say Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep. Okay, it is Meryl Streep, but for me, is the first person that pops into my head is definitely Halle Berry. Like, no matter what role she's in, I'm just like, that's just Halle Berry.
Yeah,
like,
for me, that's like Barbara Streisand too.
That's old school.
I've never seen too many Barbara Streisand movies though. Yeah. But when I see the previews, I'm just like, I've seen that preview before. The trailer.
It's. I mean, I guess at this point, Tom Cruise, like every Tom Cruise movie. Yeah. Actually, speaking of Tom Cruise, Top Gun 2. I guess like 30 years later is coming out. I mean, because of COVID, there's a bunch of delays. It's supposed to come out like 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, and I don't know. That's kind of interesting because the woman in the first film is obviously not in it, and Tom Cruise looks exactly the same. Maybe.
Can I make an admission really quick?
Sure.
I've never seen Top Gun.
You've never seen Top Gun? No, How dare you? You're not. I mean,
it's just like, psh.
Yeah. I guess we could add some sound effects just to slap. I mean, it's one of those movies where you can't take it seriously. It's like a bro movie. There's like a scene where they're playing volleyball and like with jeans and shirtless. It's obviously like it's fan service, but I don't know to whom. Is it fan service for dudes or fan service for women? Because there's a scene where they're playing volleyball and it's just like everything is in slow motion and there's like they're panning, like zooming into their butt. It's like
reverse Baywatch.
When I was a kid, I was like, I don't get it. Like, is this supposed to be for me? Like, I don't think this is. I mean, as a 10-year, I'm like, I think they made flying. I mean, flying is cool, but it's a pretty interesting movie. But I mean, I grew up like my family, like my dad and currently my brother, they're in the military and specifically the Air National Guard and Air Force. And so for me, like any military movie, I was always kind of like fascinated by it. But I will never go into the military. I mean, I think I'm too old anyway at this point. But
maybe I think so. I think it's 35.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm just. Sorry, guys, can't join the military. Too old.
So let me ask you this then. Most recently, what's like your favorite, like either military movie, show, anything that you watched?
Military movie show. I've seen lately. I can't think of anything that really sticks out. I mean, there was one movie that tried to be like an espionage movie / spy movie, but failed miserably. It was probably Black Widow. I'm a huge MCU fan, so get off my ass if I'm gonna be harsh.
Yeah, I'm actually putting our Twitter and you know, our Instagram handles, so throw all the hate.
Yeah, please do.
Which is going to be right below right here.
Yeah. So I'm most critical towards things I like and or love. Like if I love you or if I love something, I am super harsh because I want it to be better. But Black Widow was entertaining, but failed miserably on both ends of being it didn't really know if it wanted to be a Jason Bourne film or if it wanted to be like an MCU film. And it was kind of like in between. Like it tried to be kind of like a spy thing, but the action didn't quite correlate with like the spy, because Black Widow's a spy. Like she's a assassin / spy. Mm-hmm. But like all the action there's nothing spy like in the movie. And I mean, first of all, I'll give props to David Harbour. He plays in Stranger Things. He plays the Red Guardian. He's like hilarious, and he's a phenomenal actor. But he like gained I think 80 pounds for the film.
Wow.
Like he gained like a lot of weight, but he also, I think it was the same kind of weight he had on for Stranger Things and also Hellboy. But Hellboy, he got like pretty, like for his size, he got pretty jacked for Hellboy.
Yeah. Oh, he was Hellboy? The guy?
The most recent. Yeah.
Wow,
he was the most recent Hellboy. Yeah.
Shit.
I mean, the film kind of flopped, sadly, but I'm a Hellboy fan.
It used to be the guy that was in Sons of Anarchy, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I forgot his name, but
yeah, but
he's good too.
I think he was better. But David Harbour is like 6'5". Like he's a pretty big dude. Yeah. So he fit but the guy that played Sons of Anarchy, I don't think he's that tall or significantly tall. Anyway.
Yeah.
But where the film kind of, you know what they did to this, one of my favorite characters called Taskmaster? Are you familiar with that?
No.
You nodded like no. No. You remember when you're familiar with Deadpool?
Yes.
So remember what they did to Deadpool in that one Wolverine film where like they completely changed the character. They gave him blades coming out of his hands. They covered his mouth. They didn't even have the same like outfit. They completely like changed the character. It was just Deadpool as like a name, but it wasn't. It was far from the actual character. And now they got Deadpool right, obviously. Ryan Reynolds and Taskmaster is like they just completely changed the character. They just completely shat on the character. They just called the character Taskmaster, but the origin was wrong. The even the kind of costume was wrong. It's like, no, this is not Taskmaster. This is just like a different character. My thing was like either like stick to the source material or just have like a generic soldier person to be your bad guy.
You had one task, Black Widow. You had one task.
Yeah. And I mean, the timing is terrible because the timing that it's set in between, I believe, both Avengers Endgame and Avengers Infinity War. So actually, no, Infinity War and Endgame. I believe it's in between that or before. Nope, sorry. I think it's right after Civil War is where the Black Widow movie starts or takes place. But it's I don't know. I liked it. I mean, I'm not really answering your question about it. It's nothing military like, but it's like one of those movies where it tries to sort of please everybody. And when you try to please everybody, you kind of please nobody.
Yeah,
kind of
don't
thing.
Really please anyone at all.
Yeah, so if they went just straight, just spy thriller, and calm down with all the action or like the big action parts, then that would have been just fine. And they also like made Black Widow like super like OP. Like she like fell off buildings. Car crashes and just like walks away. Like, I'm like, wait, she just like had a severe car crash. How's she just kind of just like getting out of the car and walking away? Like, that's not how people like. There was like maybe like 3 or 4 different times in the movie where she just should have died. Like, this is one scene where she literally falls like maybe several stories and just starts bouncing off of like the handrails and stuff.
Oh. And
like pipes and ding, 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 and just like. And she just gets up, like, ugh, and gets up. I'm like, that's not you would be dead. You have a broken leg, and then she falls, but then like the person that fell before her is like just dies.
Yeah.
So like, wait, so is she like a superhero? Because I understood that she wasn't a superhero.
Okay.
So anyway,
Yeah.
that's my. I mean, that's not really a military movie, but
I would see your gripe with that.
I mean, other than that, I mean, I'm just happy they finally made it. It's just terrible. Like they should have made this film like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, sadly. But you need to catch up on, you know, I completely forgot the movie. We just mentioned it before.
Top Gun?
Top Gun.
Yeah, I'm going to watch Top Gun, and we're going to do a review of Top Gun.
I'll watch it again.
Brief review.
It's so funny. If you watch it now, it's like, it's so, like, I don't know if the word campy is appropriate, but it's so, like, I have a lot of gay friends. They love Top Gun. If you're a friend of mine and you happen to be, you know, gay, Top Gun is your movie.
Have a Top Gun themed barbecue.
Top Gun themed barbecue.
Yeah, so
just tight jeans, no shirts, oil everywhere.
When you mentioned like, you know, that it being a military movie with Top Gun and all that, the one thing that popped into my mind, which I don't think I mentioned before when we talked about like the pandemic and things we were watching, but I got really obsessed with Homeland.
You
ever see Homeland?
And that is with
Claire Danes and Damian Lewis, who is actually in Billions now. He's kind of
yes, I know of it. I've never seen it. For me, I always feel like when it comes to like these big series and it's like already 3 seasons in, I'm like, ugh, I'm already behind. I'm not gonna bother.
It had 7 seasons, so that's why I was like, oh, this is perfect for a pandemic.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and you know what? I always like put it down in the beginning because, you know, it's Claire Danes, and I'm like, oh, I'm not going to be able to get into it, you know, like, let me tell you, I watched the first season. It was amazing. First 3 seasons were amazing. The rest of it I really liked a lot, but I know like online community, you know, I joined a few Facebook groups, Homeland.
Oh, really?
But just to see, you know, what's going on. A lot of people didn't, you know, there's like a rift after like season 4 around that time, but it was all good and I really liked it a lot.
That tends to happen with shows that go for a while. There's always like one season where like the people fall off. Like, nope, like I've been with you this whole time, and like, nope, after this season I can't watch it anymore. I think it happened with Westworld and what's that zombie one? Walking Dead, where that one scene where they killed like several favorite characters. That's the only scene I've seen. I've never actually seen Walking Dead, but I saw that one scene. I'm like, what? This is so messed up. This is like, this guy's, you know, I'm not gonna be descriptive, but yeah, it was like a really messed up scene. I'm like, yeah, I can see why people are mad at this scene. Yeah, I'll be pretty upset too if I was like a fan of certain characters and they just kill them off like that.
Yeah, and you know what was crazy was that episode, we were still not in like, we were like right at the brink of like streaming taking over. These shows were still happening on TV,
right?
And I remember it being so big that I was out at a bar that night and they had it on like every TV. And everyone was there watching The Walking Dead at the bar. And it's not even like a TV show themed bar where like people, you know, no, it was just a regular bar, and they had it on. And it was so
graphic,
so brutal.
It's graphic.
It was so brutal
for a TV show, like on television.
Yeah,
it's pretty graphic.
It was brutal, and I couldn't believe it. And I had like a nice buzz going, and I was just like, oh god. What am I gonna do now?
I remember watching it. This is some years ago, but I remember watching it like at night. And again, I'm not even a fan of Walking Dead. I'm a huge fan of like archery and stuff. So just the fact that the guy has a crossbow, and I have so many just. It's just wrong how they use a crossbow. It's just terrible. Anyway, yeah, I saw it like at night, and then I saw that scene like because it was like everywhere on social media, like Walking Dead is terrible, and I'm like, why? And I click on it, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's pretty bad. And I'm like, and I fell asleep. I'm like, yep, can't even go to sleep now because of this imagery in my head. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
And the worst thing was that one of the people that he really like, they went in on, was a fan favorite, you know, like So it was just like, oh,
was it the Asian guy?
Yeah.
You can't look Asian guy.
Yeah, that was brutal. But yeah, I mean, aside from that, you said you saw Black Widow, right? So I'll throw a little something in there that I just recently watched. I know it's really like it's caught some fire online lately, but have you checked out the Fear Street series?
No, I haven't. I'm trying to convince my wife to watch it, but she's not really a fan of like those kind of like horror type of. Well, we're watching Mandalorian now, and I haven't told her this, and she doesn't watch the podcast, so it's okay to mention it. We're watching the Mandalorian together because she really wants to watch it for a while now. But after, I'm like, well, we saw Mandalorian. Now can we watch what I want to watch? And so we'll see.
Yeah, you go 1 for 1.
Yeah. I don't think. I mean, I'm pretty sure people that are like listening now that are married, like, yeah, that's not how it works, dude. But I'm hoping that's how it works out. We'll see. But without like, I guess, putting out too many spoilers. I mean, spoilers don't really bother me, to be honest. But like, what is that show/series about?
Yeah, I'm not gonna do too many spoilers. I mean, not too many. Like, I'm gonna give some, but no. But so the cool thing I like about it was like a movie. You know, it was kind of like a movie. It wasn't like a show. And then what they did was, I didn't know there were gonna be 2 other parts when I saw it on Netflix. And the first one was 1994, and they did like, I'm not gonna lie, the first one I was watching, it was like, you feel that kind of like cheesiness, but it's kind of like that like Nightmare on Elm Street or like Friday the 13th cheesiness.
Mid 90s.
Yeah. Like they really captured that. So I was like, oh, this is kind of, you know, whatever. But the cool thing was they used the soundtrack from that time, and it made it, you know, kind of like
Stranger Things.
Pop. Yeah,
like they kind of stuck with like whatever music was during that time. They kind of made that.
So that kind of worked cool. And then yeah, I'm not gonna talk too much about what happened, but it was. Later on I found out that it's based off of I think it's Goosebumps, the guy that wrote Goosebumps.
R.L. Stein?
Yeah, R.L. Stein. So
I don't know how I remember that. R.L.
Yeah,
I remember that.
It's based off of that.
R.L. Stein was, I don't know if it's a he or she, but they're pretty, they're a staple in my like upbringing, R.L. Stein.
Yeah. And you know what happened is like, so the first one is 1994. The second one, it goes back to the 70s.
Okay.
When they're at like some summer camp.
Is it like is it kind of like a thrasher? Is it gore?
Well,
is it is it like sci-fi? Like there's some sort of evil monster? Like
it involves like some supernatural,
like magic kind of thing.
Some like I would say like spiritual rituals and like
culty,
evil, like
kind of culty
demons. It's really actually pretty cool.
All right.
And it was really gory, which that really took me off guard because like you're just sitting there the whole time, and then there's this one specific scene, and I was watching it with my girlfriend, right? So I wanted me to laugh, but there's a couple gory scenes, but then there's this one specific in the first one. And you don't think the girl's gonna die because she's like a main character.
Oh,
and
they
my
did
girl's
that.
just like, it just got quieter. My girl's like, I didn't think she was gonna die.
They flipped it like that.
Yeah, and it was pretty brutal. So, you know,
they gotta do that more often. Just like abruptly, just when it comes to these horror films, just like killing off like the supposed main character, and the main character isn't until like you don't get to the main character until like halfway into the movie. Like, oh, this is like the protagonist.
Yeah,
I prefer that because then I think it's a more interesting way of telling a story as opposed to like, because once you set one main character, you're never truly scared for them when they're actually like in danger. Is the audio working?
Yeah.
All right.
I was just checking the time.
All right. I'm so seeing this little bar, this blue bar going back and forth, and as I was talking, I'm like, I didn't see that bar moving, but it's all right. But yeah, it's definitely a series. What's it called again?
Fear Street.
Fear Street.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That first kill, it really sets the tone, and then you're like, oh man, there's more of these, and the second one gets real serious. And then the cool thing is also you don't know what's coming next. Like I didn't know that there was gonna be a third one after the second one. Then they dropped the trailer at the end of the second one. And that one takes place in 1666.
That's in Amazon Prime. Is that Netflix?
I think it's Netflix. Yeah, it's in Netflix. And it just gets progressively more brutal. And but then there's a twist at the end on the third one. It was really good. R.L. Stein, shout out to R.L. Stein. He was the first one that got me started on that whole like choose your adventure. Remember there were some books like that?
I mean, I always cheated though. You always left your thumb on the last page, and it's like if you died, you just go back to the previous page. But that's ever. I mean, I don't think I'm the only person that did that. Did you do that?
I think I just went through it, but I didn't do the thumb thing.
Like go through the enter the cave or don't enter the cave. Enter the cave. Oh, you get eaten by a bear, and then you go back. I always went back to no, I'm gonna go to the other not enter the cave thing. But actually, there's a guy that did something similar to that. I mentioned him before, Markiplier, but he did it as a video series where you were robbing a museum. It is on YouTube for free, and you can choose okay, enter the vault or don't enter the vault, and based on that you can click the link and it'll take you to that thing, and then you'll go. It's a pretty cool series. I completely forgot the name of the series, but I think he did it maybe 2.5 or so years ago.
Yeah.
You literally pick your own route, your own little thing.
Nice. Yeah, that's cool. That's also on Netflix they have a Bandersnatch. Yeah, and that was made by the people who did Black Mirror.
The thing is that Bandersnatch just doesn't sound. It sounds like a really bad porn title. Bandersnatch.
It's a book, I think, but I mean, I think it's a book in the movie. There's supposedly a book that was written.
Bandersnatch.
Yeah, and it's based off that, but I don't know if the book actually was real. In real life.
There's actually I don't think it's the same thing, but it's the opposite of Santa Claus. And it's if I ever have kids, I'm gonna introduce not Santa Claus, but the other guy, Krampus.
Yeah.
I've told my wife if we have children, no Santa Claus, it's Krampus.
Yeah,
negative reinforcement.
Where is that? Finland?
I think it's definitely one of those white, one of those white countries.
Yeah.
Krampus is definitely a cool mythology that I can get into. I think there's definitely a movie called Krampus. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they came out with it. I was so psyched. I never watched it though. But I knew of Krampus for a long time before that movie came out.
Yeah.
So I used to tell my friend about it all the time. Not the same friend, but various friends.
Remember Krampus? Yeah, you told me every year about Krampus. But speaking of I guess you can say crazy white people. That's a really bad segue. But we're both in New Jersey right now, and some interesting things have been happening in New Jersey. One racist white guy, yelling out profanity towards his neighbors and just saying his address.
Yeah, they locked him up.
And then he's see me, I'm at my house, yada yada. And then they showed up, and I don't know why they. I mean, I don't like speaking out of turn, but I don't know the exact details on why they arrested him. I think it was harassment.
Yeah.
Blatant harassment, obviously. But
he said the words that you shouldn't ever say.
Yeah, never.
Yeah.
Ever.
He said a couple.
I was insulted, and he wasn't even towards me directly. And I'm yo, you don't say that. I mean. And then another person called Victoria's Secret Karen, or Short Hills Mall Karen. So it's interesting. These two individuals that got, I'll say, caught on camera. One of them leans in and says, "I don't care. You're recording me. This is my address," knowing he's being recorded. He deserves what he deserves, what he got. And then the Short Hills Mall Karen, I don't. We'll eventually get to the part where you start editing in the video and start watching it live or during it, but not today. You can look it up. Just type in Short Hills Mall Karen or Victoria's Secret Karen, where the video, it's about 10 minutes long from start to finish. But it starts with this woman being recorded, and literally the first part is her lunging at a woman at a Victoria's Secret, and then immediately she reacts, literally puts her hand on her heart. And just has literally, I don't know, if she's acting, she deserves an Oscar. and has this sort of supposed nervous breakdown. But she did the weirdest thing that my cat does to my wife's cat. Is she kept approaching the woman being videotaped, video with a camera, with the phone, and kept saying, "Get away from me," which is such a like weird, redundant thing. Like, if you want someone to be away from you, why are you approaching them?
Yeah.
And the woman that was recording was black, and it's like, okay, like Jesus, like, like what are you doing?
Funny that at one point in the video, she's like, "See, this is what I get for coming to pick up a free panty."
Yeah, I just came here just to get some free panties, and it was like the weirdest thing. But you had an interesting breakdown on like that video, which you were saying it to me before, and I'm like, stop talking, explain it on the podcast.
Yeah, so when I first watched the video from beginning to end, immediately I got this like feeling of like, this lady's faking this breakdown. You know, like she's just realized she caught on video. It just hit her out of nowhere. She didn't expect to get recorded. So after I finished watching the whole thing, I went right back to the beginning. And luckily, this woman catches her when she lunges at her and tries to hit her, because that's going to help with the police. But like when you first start the video, it's her starting to lunge at her, and you look at her face. She's got this like evil smile on her face, almost like I'm gonna hit you and get away with it type of like,
yeah, you can't do anything about
smirk.
this.
Yeah. And then as soon as she realizes she's got her phone up, you just see her face, like it goes like a complete 180, and she just immediately starts with this whole like breakdown, and you're recording my breakdown, and that she's, you know, I don't want to say that word, but that she's got like issues and things like that. And I just think it was just phony, but it's so weird because it's just like a moment like that, just pretty much like could just take this woman's soul, you know, for being just such a terrible person.
I mean, honestly, I commend the woman recording, and you know, I worked retail, and as and people were saying, hey, why aren't any of like the employees doing anything? I used to work retail, and I believe you did as well.
Yeah.
We're told never to convene, like let the security deal with it. Like, don't start getting involved. And I think the manager eventually got involved in the Short Hills Mall. And it's like, I don't know. It just so I won't say I hate the word. Hate to say the word, but it's like that's like the epitome of like white fragility. And it's like there's always been, you know, like you can say like in school, there's always been that one student that when they would get in trouble, they just start crying. It was just like, oh, shut up. Like, you're like such a bitch or whatever. Like, you're such a fill in the blank. And it's just, I don't know. When I saw the video, like, oh, this woman, like, the thing is that's upsetting is that, like, I mean, I hate to get on my soapbox, but like, stuff like that is what gets like a lot of people of color killed. Like, you know, if I can go back to like Emmett Till, and like the woman that caused Emmett Till to get murdered, like ridiculous. On her deathbed, she like said that she lied, that what she said, like what she accused him of was completely false. And it's like, fuck that lady, like for real, like what's wrong with you? So I just think that some people, like, listen, you got caught, you want to hit this woman, the only way she can defend herself is by taking the camera out and recording you, and you just, I don't know, acted a fool and you got caught. It's just that simple.
She got caught like a Pokemon.
Yeah. It's just
like with Pokemon Go, she's just like whoosh.
That's good. I mean, and that's the thing. And I mean, the only real way of, I guess you can say, keeping yourself protected is by just your phone. And I think it forces people to like act right. And if you don't act right, all right, we have you recorded acting like a complete idiot, you know. But I don't know. I think I don't think the woman should go to jail, or I don't know. But like, whatever consequences that she got out of, she deserves it. Like, you know.
Well, the woman that recorded the video has a very successful GoFundMe going.
Good for her.
Because she wants to sue the mall and sue, you know, all around, all parties all around, you know, because the response was not good enough. personally, when I read that, I was like, all right, it's a little bit much. But then I saw the video, and I'm like, you know what? I'm like, I would feel some type of way too. And then the police were like, wouldn't escort the woman out, and it's like, oh my God, it's just terrible.
She's like, why are you like talking to her? Talk to me. I'm the victim here. And I mean, but on paper, you actually have you need to speak to the person that made the call first, and then it's not like they're more or less innocent. That's just like protocol. But it's just crazy. And I think that like Short Hills Mall, it's not like a low class. It's there's some pretty good stores in there. It's pretty,
that's like an upscale mall.
It's pretty upscale.
And she says that too. She's like, I went to the good mall.
Yeah,
thinking I'm not gonna deal with.
Yeah, I went to the good one and thinking like, nope. There's still, like people like that. But the crazy thing at Short Hills Mall, there was like a shooting like 2-3 years ago.
Oh
there. So you would think like, hey, after this crazy shooting that happened, I believe some people died. You would think the security would be a little bit more like on top of things like that, But I guess I don't know. I believe my stepbrother did mall security, and he said it was like one of the worst. I won't say what mall, but he says one of the worst experiences ever. It's thankless. It's to say the least.
I gotcha.
But I won't say what mall because it'll just narrow it. Because someone that will know me will know my stepbrother, and then they will know like, okay, I know what mall you went to.
If it rhymes with Philowbrook, blink twice. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, you know what? It's funny.
Pillow stuck.
Pillow stuck. So that you mentioned the whole mall shooting thing. I mean, tragic thing. I think they stole the car, and the people died. They shot them, and
that's crazy.
It was like 2 women, I think, from a family, like maybe 2 family members. But the reason why I'm using that as a segue is because I believe it was the Christmas before the pandemic. I was at, I think it was the summer, like right before the pandemic. I was at Jersey Gardens Mall.
Right.
And I was going into Sephora because I was picking up a gift. And as I'm walking into the mall, I turn around. I was walking into the store to talk to someone, ask them for some help. I turn around and I just see this one like old Hispanic guy. He looks like 78. Like
that's specific.
Really, yeah. He's like that old, but he's like high jumping over a table or something. I'm like, what is he doing? Meanwhile, he's holding his little kid, dragging the little kid. I'm like, then I just start seeing more people running in behind him, and I'm like, all right, there's a lot of people running right now. What's going on? Everyone starts running in the store into the back room, and people start talking that there was someone shooting out in the mall. And this is when like all that stuff was going crazy with the mall shootings before the pandemic. They were happening,
what year was this approximately?
That had to be, let me see, 2019, I think, because it was
not that long ago.
Yeah, because it was right before the year of the pandemic, 2020. So yeah, and this was happening more frequently. And then let me tell you, we were jam packed in the back room. And there's people crying, Then you start thinking, and you start getting scared. Like,
start texting some people, like, something is happening.
And everyone's behind the door.
Right.
They lock the door. You start hear you could hear people screaming outside. So now you're thinking, shit, something's really happening. And we're looking on Twitter, like Sienna was saying.
Yeah.
And then eventually, the police came and stuff like that. And then they were like, what people thought was gunshots. Somebody was in the food court and they threw a bunch of chairs because they were fighting with another person across.
And then that bang sound
the loud
that reverberates and such.
Exactly. And then people just started running. But it was scary. It's almost like, it might as well have been a shooter there because we all shit our pants, So, but thank God there wasn't because nobody got hurt. But, it was crazy. Just like, just goes to show at that time where we were at with all these shootings and things like that. And maybe that was one silver lining with the pandemic. I know we've had a few little events like that, but I think it kind of curtailed that a little bit. Like it seemed like it was happening every week.
Yeah, and then those was the theater shooting or shootings. We got dark. But yeah, there was like one. I forgot what movie it was. I think it was a Joker, or was it?
No, he was. had his hair painted like the Joker. That's
right.
The Aurora, right? Colorado.
Yeah.
He
I
was
forgot
in a
what movie though.
It was Batman though, I think.
It was a Batman movie, I think.
I think it was, yeah.
And I'm a huge movie goer and go AMC stock. Stonks or stock. But yeah, like that's pretty terrifying. And I'm actually gonna go to the movies soon to see The Green Knight on the 30th. So I'm looking forward to watching that. That'll be my first time going to the theater in like since like not this past January, so almost 2 years. So that'd be kind of interesting to finally go to the movies after like 2 years.
Yeah, that's we definitely just went. So I don't know if we mentioned it last time.
I don't think you mentioned you going to the movie. Which one did you go to? Or what movie did you watch?
What did we go see? Shit.
You forgot already?
I forgot. Quiet Place 2.
Oh, okay. No, you didn't mention that.
Well, they got some snacks some new snacks in the theaters. They got like these like
you upgraded
bacon popcorn and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, you did mention the bacon popcorn, but I don't think you mentioned the fact that you watched A Quiet Place too. I would remember that.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, they gotta improve on their and that was AMC. What was that?
It was I go to see Caucus, Carasotis. Now it's called like Carasotis Showplace.
Okay.
It's got the nice recliners. It was one of the first ones.
Oh, okay.
And the theaters are like a little smaller.
Which are better. I love the smaller, tighter theaters.
You could pick the seats, and now it's like when we went, when you picked your seats, they like block out everyone on the sides and around you.
Nice.
So you don't have to sit next to someone.
Nice.
I don't know if that changed now because it's like fully open.
Yeah, I'm like, for me, I'm the go by myself. I mentioned this before, but I just go. I don't even buy popcorn. I'll just like sometimes just bring popcorn from home.
Yeah, especially if you go with your friend.
Oh yeah, that douchebag. I hate that guy. Oh, I don't really hate anybody, but they're just some people I dislike enough to completely avoid. And that's completely okay. I remember one time when I was younger, I felt bad for like not talking to a friend, and one of my older friends said, it's okay to curate your friends. And I'm like, I like that word, curate. I mean, curator. Like a curator literally decides, okay, that's good for this space, and that's not good. It's completely okay to just, you know what, you're not working. Like, you just don't, work with me. So yeah, that guy that ate popcorn and licked his fingers and like put it back in the popcorn and ate it again. Yeah. I not a fan of you. But I don't know how much time you have left, but the last thing, because it's Thursday, it's okay to mention the date, but it's tomorrow is the Olympics start officially. Ooh. The 2020/21. I don't know if it's official. I think it's still technically officially 2020 Olympics, even though it's 2021. I don't know, but that's officially starting tomorrow with the celebration, opening, and all that. And I believe it's in Tokyo. I believe.
Yeah, I think the same thing happened with the Euro too. I think the championship was Euro 2020, but
yeah.
Yeah.
But imagine like spending so much money on branding and like T-shirts and signs and everything, and then changing it again, like just from a 0 to a 1. I just think keep on paper it's 2020, but it's taking place now.
If I was up top somewhere in the Olympic committee, I'd just be like, nah, we're rolling with the 0.
Just keep it 0.
Just keep it simple, 0.
Just turn it back. But are there any sporting events? I mean, not all of them are all of them technically sports, but are there any events that you either are looking forward to or just think is just complete like, or maybe you don't like the Olympics? I don't know. Yeah,
I do actually really like them a lot, and of course, number 1 is wrestling.
Nice.
I do enjoy wrestling. I know, I'm not sure if these are Summer Olympics, so I know they have some boxing, so I like to catch a little bit of like, the final round, the final gold medal, silver medal, just see who's in that. I do like a lot of these like high jumper girls and
high jumper girls. High jumper girls.
Yeah, high jumper girls.
Well, you mean track and field?
Yeah, like the ones with the pole vaulting. Those
is it because of the really short shorts?
It's not specifically that, but they're just always really hot. I don't know what it is about like jumping on those poles, like just attracts these.
Hot as in like the athleticism is hot.
No, like literally like they're like pretty faces. And
I'm trying to like lean like it's because they're athletes. Like no, they're gorgeous.
Yeah, because I mean, for me it's like that, and like who else I really enjoy watching the ones, what is it called, that they jump the little, like it's like track, like they run but they jump.
But it's like a little puddle that they jump over.
No, it's like a bar, and there's like a bunch of them like all throughout.
High hurdles, just hurdles.
Yeah,
just
hurdles. Yep, hurdles.
Just hurdles. The things they hurdle over and over again, like hurdles, hurdling.
Yeah, them too. I like watching them.
Yeah, there's a few like. With wrestling, there's Jordan Burroughs isn't wrestling this year.
Yeah,
he got beat by Kyle Dake, and Kyle Dake earned it. He's been trying for like 8 years.
Very persistent.
Well
deserved.
Yeah, and then you have Jaden Cox that didn't even wrestle because he didn't miss weight. He didn't weigh in on time. Which is crazy to qualify. And what's crazy is that in like the international wrestling, it's a certain amount of weight classes, but for Olympic wrestling, it's less. It's 2 less. I forgot that exact number. I think it was from like 10 to 8 or 12 to 10. I don't know, but there's less weight classes. So like you'll have world champions that won't even qualify for Olympics because they get beat by another world champion in a higher or lower weight class because they're trying to cram into like kind of falling into like one weight class. But the Olympic Committee fixed that. Like that's crazy. That's crazy how you don't have the same. How is like you have representing a sport, but you have 2 different sets of weight classes. I just think it's crazy that you have like 2 world champions that didn't qualify for the Olympics, which is crazy. On the same team. You know
what I like about the Olympics is just it's like rich history, like it goes so far back.
Yeah.
And it's just like like even back then there was less events, and I think the rings have something to do with that, right? Because even when it started, there weren't even 7 continents officially, right? It was like 5.
Yes.
That were recognized. And
but I was thinking, imagine. So Biden is currently president, but I was thinking, our previous president Trump. Imagine if he was still president during the Olympics, how much shit he would talk on Twitter.
Oh my God!
He's like, we got Germany, you have nothing. We have 30, gold medals, and you only have 15. Like, I just imagine, like, if he was president. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying hypothetically, if he was still president, he'll probably talk the most amount of shit, the most amount of crap online, and he'd probably go there and just like not shake some people's hands. I don't know. Like, I can definitely see him like he's the type of person that would want to like puff up his chest, like, yeah, we're better than everybody.
Yeah, and it's funny because recently when I see him in the news, it's actually. I really enjoy it because just recently it's more like ripping on him, if anything, and they just had the Tampa Bay Buccaneers went to visit the White House, and there was this story about how like Trump is obsessed with Tom Brady, and Tom Brady didn't go to the White House when he won with the Patriots, and supposedly like, long story short, Trump like blew up and was trying to fix it and making all these calls, but anyway, he went this time. And he made a joke. Did you hear about that?
I didn't. I saw a headline, didn't click on it, but please tell me.
Yeah, no. So basically, I guess he was talking with Biden, and he goes that 40% of people didn't think Tampa Bay won the championship. He's like, they still don't believe we won the championship. And then Biden was like, I kind of believe that. That's I have a feeling.
I think I know what you're trying to say.
Yeah,
that's. But going back to Olympics, it's one of those things where I think in a way the world kind of needs it, because the Olympics is a sort of like represents like a sort of an established normalcy, like, hey, we a sort of tradition of sorts. But this is the one fear I have, and the fear is towards Gabby Douglas. I believe that's her name. the gymnast. It's like she's like a 7-time world champ or something like that. Phenomenal. And I always get scared when the athlete, and she has every right to be like, yeah, I'm the best, because she is the best, obviously. But anytime there's any sort of sense of like establishing stuff like, yeah, I'm the best, I'm always fearful, because like karma's I feel like karma can be a thing. Karma's
Pride
definitely
comes before the fall.
Yeah, and because she put like literally a goat on her back, a GOAT, as in like greatest of all time, on like her like uniform. It was like a decked out goat, and I'm like, ooh, please don't hurt yourself, because I always feel like when things like that happen, when people are just saying, yeah, I'm the best, I'm the GOAT, when they're still competing, I'm always scared that something bad might happen, like an injury might happen, or like, you know, she takes an Advil by mistake and gets popped. And that happens a lot, where like an athlete will take Tylenol or Advil or drink a little bit too much like coffee, which, you know, caffeine is a stimulant, which I'm drinking right now, or a caffeine drink. You can't have any of that in your system when you compete.
I thought that was water.
Nope,
your
not
performance
water.
enhanced tonight?
This is a caffeinated beverage.
PEDs tonight.
Yeah, well, I don't like to represent or what I drink, so I put it in a glass container.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like, I want Gabby Douglas to win, obviously, but like, anytime someone's like, yeah, I'm the best, I mean, she doesn't really, I mean, she has every right to say that. I'm not saying you shouldn't say it, but in my gut, in my heart, I get like uncomfortable, because it's like, I always feel like things always happen when you proclaim things.
Yeah.
And you're true, you know. I mean, but then again, she's been like the best for like the past 8 years or 7 years. Like, how many gymnasts are at that level for 7 or 8 years? You know, that's kind of that's impressive, to be honest.
I feel like the only time it's okay is when you're like statistically the GOAT, and it's like
on paper,
right,
yeah,
you know, yeah. Like, let's say, like, she's won, I think, the most gold medals ever. So I think
world champions,
she's clear to say it.
Like 7 or 8, yeah.
Like Jordan, he wasn't, you know, because they were like better players, you know, like
it's a team sports are tougher to determine who's a singular best player, because it's a team sport. But gymnastics, it's like it's just you up there.
Yeah, and you know, I think like even Tom Brady, he could say he's the GOAT, you know, at this point.
I mean, when you change teams and then all of a sudden that team wins, then that you're definitely the reason that team won. Yeah.
And so that's the only problem. But it does get me a little cringy when, you know, someone like is drinking their own Kool-Aid too much, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I hope the best. Please don't kill me.
There's a difference between confidence and, you know.
I think you need 100% you need confidence. I don't know how we are with time, but
we're pretty good. But yeah, I mean, one more thing I wanted to mention, I guess this could be like the segue on the way out, is the whole thing with Sha'Carri Richardson.
Yes.
That, I think, is so messed up. I think it's just so messed up.
So, to give people a backstory, she won and qualified for the 100-meter dash, and I think the 200 as well, I believe. And I don't think she's competing at all. Is that correct?
No, yeah, she's completely.
So she got popped for PED, performance-enhancing drug, but that performance-enhancing drug was marijuana. I had a bit of a debate with a friend, like, hey, that's not even a performance-enhancing drug, and I'm like, I beg to differ. But again, her reason is because it was like a week before her mom, I think, passed away, and she was obviously, like anyone else, would have a hard time with that, and toked on the marijuana smoke, and and then got popped. And but kudos to her, she didn't deny. She's like, yep, I did. My mom passed. I had a hard time with it. It helped me, I guess you can say, like a better word, get over it. I mean, you don't really get over that kind of thing, but helped her kind of cope for the time being. And then, I mean, I don't know. But kudos to her. She wasn't like, no, I didn't, I'm innocent. She was like, yeah, I did because of this. And, you know.
Yeah, I mean, that's even more impressive that she smokes weed and she smashed that record like that. Because honestly, if I was, if I was under the influence and I was on those blocks ready to I'd probably
Well, she
not
wasn't
even hear.
She wasn't running high.
You never know. I mean, if she was though, but I mean, even still, in the mornings when I'm training, I would not want to be doing sprints. You know?
Yeah, I mean, well, there is. I mean, to each. I mean, for some people, like a certain substances and or drugs can be a benefit. For others, it can't. Like for me, like I can't take a pre-workout before I go to the gym. I get super jittery and anxious. And I can literally get a panic attack if I take a pre-workout. Like I get really, really angsty. Like says the person drinking caffeine right now. But I mean, this is mostly like diluted. This is mostly half water, half whatever.
It's only half a scoop.
Yeah, there's no yeah. But for some people, like something like marijuana can be a hindrance where they can't seem to focus. For other people, it can help them perform even better. Yeah. In the jiu-jitsu community, and I say that kind of word, and in the jiu-jitsu community, smoking marijuana before you train is very common.
Should be called BJ, Mary J.
Mary JJ.
Mary JJ.
Mary Jiu-Jitsu. It's very common, and you'd be surprised of how many guys will train under the influence. But to say marijuana is not just a blanket statement, is not a performance-enhancing substance. I hate to say the word drug, substance. It's you didn't smoke weed or don't know. It does for some people help, but I'm not saying she took it maliciously. When she says I took it for medicinal reasons to cope with my depression, anxiety, all that because my mom died, I believe her. And should she still compete? I 100% should think she should still compete. I don't know. Like in my opinion, I would have been like, cool. But if you give her a pass, then like how many other people are gonna give a pass? Mm-hmm. So I think that I like to say rules are rules, but my main critique is just towards like the media on like when you say PED or pop for an illegal substance or for a performance enhancing drug, you don't think marijuana. You think steroids. Yeah. You think just Anavar, HGH. You'd think like hardcore stuff, but no, it's not that.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, and even like you said, it being so prevalent in BJJ, there's like those tournaments. There's tournaments that the prizes are, a big bag of flour.
Bag of flour.
Yeah, that's what the kids call it.
The bag of flour.
A flour, like flour's like the actual bud, and because now there's like vape and there's all the other dabs and flowers. The actual.
While you're in that. But it's one of those weird. I mean, my main critique is just the media like being super vague about it and just like, no, she got popped for marijuana. Not like, don't say. I mean, even though they're not lying when they say performance enhancing drug, but it's still kind of like you're definitely painting her in a negative light. Like be a bit more honest, be a bit more transparent when you like say that things like that. But like when I saw her when she got popped, it came off as though she was on like steroids when she's not. But I'm hoping I don't know how old she is. I think she's fairly young. I'm hoping this doesn't like hinder her career significantly. I don't know, but I do know sponsors out the window. Definitely out the window.
She should get sponsored by some like THC companies instead.
There's that,
I think she should just keep failing drug tests and just win all the time, and be unofficially the champion, the people's champ.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. But
she's got to just run with that brand.
Just seeing her interviews and how she's coping with it. She's very, very mature woman. Kudos to her for being professional and I don't know. I was looking forward to seeing her compete, and I don't know. I kind of bummed out.
She was interesting too when she won the recent race to get into the Olympics. Yeah, like she was just like stood out from the crowd. Like she had like personality and things like that. And two of the things that it makes me upset. Well, the reason it makes me upset is because we're like on the brink of like legalizing marijuana, and
correct.
And the Nevada State Athletic Commission just said that they're not going to penalize people for weed. So there's going to be like a domino effect that who knows, by the next Olympics she probably can smoke weed.
Probably. But the thing with the Olympics, and just because it's legal, it doesn't mean it's okay to take. That doesn't mean it's not a performance enhancing substance. Like, I'm not joking. Gymnasts couldn't, like, one gymnast, I think Chinese or Japanese, took an Advil because she had cramps.
Robitussin too.
Or Robitussin, and then they're like, yeah, you can't do that. So the Olympics is very. It's not based on legality or things are legal or illegal when it comes to substances. It's based off, taking this improve your performance in any way?
Yeah.
But then it's like saying you can't drink water because obviously water hydrates you, so you can't drink water. So, I mean, obviously that's an extreme example, but like, you know, everybody takes something because it improves their performance in some way, shape, or form. So what's the line of what is a performance enhancing substance? But yeah, so I don't want people get confused. Like, just because something is legal, it doesn't mean you can take it in a sporting event. You know, so.
Yeah, one thing we didn't mention too. You know what? And the second thing I wanted to say about Sha'Carri was who knows? Maybe she dodged a bullet. You know, because with everything going on with COVID there, who knows? You know, maybe the event might be canceled, or maybe, you know. So
yeah,
maybe there'll be some silver lining. And one thing we didn't cover, but we're gonna end the show.
We've been ending it for the past 15 minutes.
Yeah, it might be a good thing that it's ending. But have you ever looked into this whole, like, how the Olympics is like this whole, like, giant orgy party?
I know of that. Not know of it. I've like, yeah,
I don't know of it.
I heard of it for several
Through the
years.
grapevines.
First, yeah, I'm not that kind of athlete, but I know of it. Yeah. That's not a uncommon.
Yeah.
I thought that was a common information that everyone knew.
Nah, I mean, I think the last Olympics
they get it on.
Yeah, it's like that's what they do when they're there, like waiting for their events to happen.
Well, there's some athletes that know, hey, I'm not gonna win this. Like, I'm just happy to be here and represent my country.
He's trying to win a different
gold medal. I'm not gonna be, you know, top whatever. So, you know, but they're there the whole time. So you eat, you enjoy yourself with other people sometimes.
Yeah.
To each his own, but be responsible.
Yeah, definitely. So on that note, another thing too, before we go, I just want to say
Olympic orgy.
we haven't really, like, talked a lot about how, like, you're a black belt, things like that. We've really kind of, like, not delved into that really. And I think that's episode 15. You know, maybe we should do a little.
Sure, I'll talk about being a black belt in jiu-jitsu.
Do another jiu-jitsu episode. You know, I don't think we have done one yet.
I don't think we have a specific jiu-jitsu episode. I guess we could. Yeah. I mean, I'm very modest, or I'm humble with my accomplishments. I don't go around saying, yeah, I have a master's degree, and yeah, I'm a professor, and I'm a black belt. Like, I'm not like, I don't know.
It's just, I think, like, something, like, it doesn't have to be the main focus or, like, about, you know, that, but, like, something we never really mentioned, you know?
Yeah. Like, let's talk about me for like an hour. No, I don't know.
Maybe it's some future episodes. You know, stick around. We get some little BJJ nuggets, and not the nuggets we just spoke about. But
no,
yeah,
not at all.
All right, well, guys, thanks so much on the episode that never ended. Episode 15 of WordsrTough. My name is Jose Rodriguez.
I'm David Diokendo,
and this was Words Were Tough.
Bye bye.